Are you kidding me?
Tom, I swear to God, there's something inside.
All right, then show me. Let me see your pet monster. Dude, don't you see what this means? We can use this. This is power.
What?
Nobody's ever gonna mess with us again.
Are you crazy?
Think about it. It's not murder, it's payback.
Don't know what's inside that shit.
Get in.
Hello, hello.
What's going on, man?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Jeff in Vegas. How you doing?
I'm JJ. Nice to meet you, Jeff.
Me too.
Good.
Where's Frank at?
I'm not sure. He should be here in just a second.
See, if you did this on the set, be late. I bet he would scold you if you were late on the set, right?
Oh, he absolutely would. I mean, there was one day I was sleeping in because we were working so late the night before.
Oh, no, really? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I remember I was getting calls like minutes before I was supposed to get in the car. And they were like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "I'm so sorry. I just give me 2 minutes."
That's funny. That's crazy. Well, man, this thing's gone viral. I mean, everybody's talking about The Shed.
Yeah.
I mean, Shudder's just kicking ass, during the COVID anyway.
Yeah.
From all these movies, but just like every time there's a movie that comes out, it's just people are going crazy for it. I mean, everyone's asking me about The Shed,
The Shudder is going to be such a great home for The Shed. Like, I'm so excited that we got it on this platform finally, because it was on Amazon Prime for a long time.
It got lost probably, yeah.
We shot it back in like 2018 or whatever it was, but so it's been a little while. But now it's got Shudder, so I'm stoked.
Awesome.
But yeah. No, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you're.
Oh, it's killer. It is, literally. I think Frank's here. Frank, you here?
What's going on?
Yeah, I think I am.
The voice.
Welcome to the party.
I can't. Hold on.
I think you had video on the bottom left there. There he is. Hey, what's going on, Frank?
Let me fix my eyebrows.
You look good.
Anytime I'm on camera with JJ next to me, I feel so ugly.
I should have got my hat. I got one too. I got a bunch of those.
Nice. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for joining me today, both of you. This is a total thrill. I really enjoyed the film, and like I was just telling JJ, everybody's been asking me about it, so I've been talking to Shudder to get you guys together. So thanks. Yeah. So let's start. A hunter gets bitten by a vampire, runs into a shed to avoid the sunlight, soon discovered by a teenager. Frank, this sounds like a country version of Fright Night.
A lot of people have said that, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally cool with the Fright Night comparison for sure. It was certainly one of the influences on the film in terms of the, teen boy versus vampire one way or another. So yeah, that's pretty on point.
And JJ, tell me how you got the part of Stan, and did you do anything to get Frank's attention?
Nothing crazy. I think there were 3 scenes I taped from LA. He was over on the East Coast. A lot of the guys that they got were from New York or around New York. But I was like one of the only LA people. But I sent in a tape and I thought it was solid, and Frank seemed to like it. And then Peter and them just no interview or anything. I think you just called me and you were like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I feel like I got super lucky with the casting because pretty much every JJ, Cody, Sophia, and Chris Petrovsky, who plays Marble, they were all my first choices as soon as I saw them. So I saw JJ's tape early, and I was like, oh, that's the dude. But then we did our casting anyway because of, somebody might come along that's better. But no, I went right back to JJ. It was a pretty easy choice.
And, Stan had a Walkman. So I assume this story takes place in the 80s. I wasn't really sure what time frame this movie was in.
Well, basically the way I was thinking about it, I wrote it with a sort of, 80s mindset. But I didn't want the time frame to be like distracting. I wasn't aiming for like nostalgia porn. So I looked at it like, if I can introduce this world in a sense of it certainly looks like the 80s and feels like the 80s, but it could be today, and maybe JJ just has a Walkman. Maybe Stan just has a Walkman. So I kind of wanted to have those analog vibes because I think it lends itself to the themes of neglect one way or another. But if somebody is uncertain of exactly what year it is, that's awesome for me.
And JJ, you play a troubled teen on probation. The bodies are piling up. What's Stan's plan, man?
Well, Stan's he figures it out. I'm not sure if he has too much of a plan. But yeah, no, I mean, the circumstances are absolutely absurd, absolutely insane. So you play it as real and as grounded as possible, you know.
I think Stan's lack of a plan is what gets Stan into trouble. You know, by the time he makes a plan, everybody's dead.
And Frank, I noticed the grandfather had dog tags around his dirty wife beater tank top. Was that kind of a nod to veterans, or what was that?
I don't know. I just my father was a veteran, and I don't want you to think that he was like Grandpa at all, because he wasn't. I felt like generally to indicate the concept of like one generation versus another. In my mind, when I was writing Grandpa, he was like a World War II veteran, which would put us in the 80s. And to me, it's just the sort of idea of that World War II generation looking at let's call them the Generation X kids as like sort of lazy, and it was that tough love and that sort of like very hardened approach to discipline and stuff. So for me, it was just getting that sort of rigid character to help inform Stan's character, so we know where Stan is coming from. Getting that tough love kind of pisses you off and fucks you up,
And JJ, Stan has to deal with bullies, and I had bullies in middle school and junior high. It was just the worst. So I don't know if Frank he's kind of venting after all these years, but did you have any bullies? And I love the solution your best friend in the movie has for the bullies, but I was rooting for that solution without giving any spoilers here.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people, most people experience some form of bullying. I'm not sure if Frank was too bullied. Frank seems like a pretty tough guy, but like speaking on, Tan's toughness and his ability to deal with that type of thing, he keeps his cool. He's got his own plan. He's got his own issues he's got to deal with at home. So the bullying is very secondary.
And Frank, finding the right makeup and look for the vampire, I think it looked a little Nosferatu. I mean, is that what you were going for? That kind of
the ancient vampire in the beginning. I was basically looking for kind of a mix of Nosferatu and Barlow from Mr. Barlow from Toby Hooper's made-for-TV Salem's Lot. If you read the book Salem's Lot, Barlow looks nothing like that. He's actually more of a Count Dracula type vampire. But I just love that sort of grotesque, creature-esque vampire. I wanted the essence. Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what you did. The final sequence when the vampires are in the house, and you just really accentuate the blues, the lights, and all of that. So it just kind of amplifies that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of my for some reason, if you ever watch any of my other films, like features or shorts, for me, horror movies at night are blue. It just feels right to me, So I
yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
And JJ, Sophia, who plays Roxy, you guys had great chemistry. And Frank, did you notice that right away? Because
they had never met prior to shooting, but I think once we got the whole gang together, all of them had awesome chemistry, and JJ and Sophia had great chemistry. We just had such a great crew that everybody vibed well, and I think JJ and Sophia connected well, and it shows up on screen. But JJ, you can speak to that.
No, yeah, everyone was great. Sophia's a pro. I mean, like we could have showed up the day of and still done it the same way because she just shows up so prepared. So it was just so easy working with everyone. Cody was amazing too. I mean, Chris, everyone was amazing, but Cody also, Cody shines in this film. Like he is really just this genius take on Dahmer, so. And
the main bully, he looked like he was right out of Christine, Buddy Repperton. Was that, that shaggy hair, just like punk ass guy, man.
Yeah.
I hated that guy. He was a good actor, but I'm glad what he got, So.
Right.
And for both of you, I cannot say her name, but Fallon Hogan, who plays the sheriff, I've seen her as a character actress for years, and she was fantastic. I mean, that she was great casting.
Yeah, she was awesome. So funny story, the sheriff was not written as a woman. The sheriff was written as a man, and Peter, our producer, Peter Block, maybe like a week or two, let's say 3 weeks before shooting, he was like, hey, what if we had a woman sheriff? And I was like, no way, man, you can't change what I wrote and this, that, and the other thing. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I'm like, that's actually a great idea. And it's going to make it a little more unique. And then when we knew we could get Siobhan involved and seeing her take on it, I was like, that is so much better than like another boring, tough guy sheriff. You know what I mean? So I got to honestly give Peter the credit with that one.
But we needed the deputy because she was missing too long. Not to punch holes, but I thought he was going to show up and get his just dessert too, because they seemed really tight. It was a small town. The story went on well into the night, and I thought, hey, that's like two-cop town. Where's she at? Where's the sheriff?
There was another great scene with Mushaka, who played the deputy, and we ended up cutting the scene. So you don't really. He doesn't get killed, but he did have another sort of monumental moment that was relevant to the story. But we ended up cutting that scene. We were running long, and I wasn't really happy with some aspects of how the scene was shot, so we opted to remove the scene, unfortunately, for fans of Mushaka, who did an awesome job as the deputy as well.
That's cool. Yeah, he was the tough guy too. And tell me about, was there a specific look sitting behind me of the shed itself, or is that a real shed, or in movies they build everything?
We built that baby. And interesting fact, the outer planks of the shed, those are planks from an abandoned church. The floor of the church is 100-year-old church floor planks that our production designer, I don't know how she got them. I don't want to know how she got them.
Dude, your film's cursed. What are you talking about? What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
That's too creepy.
Yeah, so it added like a cool, creepy element to it. So we built it. We had sketches and we had concept art for it, and they put it together.
I think that's what's really a winning element of the shed, is that it's simplicity. You don't have many locations. It's just all in one area, to build upon. I think that's what really helps the film work too.
Thanks.
And getting Frank Whaley, that was just, at first I'm like, I was like, is that Frank Whaley? And then, so how did you end up getting him in the movie?
That also was a result of Peter. We were casting, and we were looking for somebody that would be sort of recognizable, but not, that would completely like overshadow everything. You know what I'm saying? And Frank actually lives in the Syracuse area, so we shot in Syracuse. So it worked out well. Peter was able to connect with him and his people, and he was interested in doing the project, and we had him on, and it was cool.
Well, guys, congratulations, man. This was an awesome film, and it was just what we needed, a nice, simple, kind of horrific vampire film. And my final thoughts here is that there's a great sketch on Saturday Night Live with Will Ferrell. It's called Get Off the Shed. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No, I don't know.
I know it's just really weird. You got to Google it. But he's sitting there, and there was his first sketch when he appeared on Saturday Night Live, and he's doing a little barbecue, and he's yelling at the kids to get off the shed, and it just builds and builds and builds. So I'm not going to get off the shed. I'm going to tell people to watch the shed. So
good, you should.
I will, absolutely. And guys, thanks so much for talking to me today, and come visit us in Las Vegas when you have a chance, man. We'd love to have you.
I've never been to Vegas, and I would love to come out to Vegas.
Come out. We'll go have a drink. We'll talk some more. And you too, JJ. You're both invited.
For sure. Thanks, Jeff. Absolutely. I'm not too far, so I might drive over there.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's in LA. He can get there quicker.